Hello and welcome back, the Tetris series. So, we've come a long way. We've got a pretty good start where we can place a block on the board here, and then we can move it around. But we are kind of hacking it together a little bit still because we're having to inject the block in through the console, and then we have to move it around using the commands. So what I'd like to do today is to wire some of this up and get this to work with some of the keyboard stuff and start working on the beginnings of this game. And then my next goal is to start unit testing some of this stuff using Jasmine and Karma. So we will get to that, but first what we need to do is we need to put a couple events in here, and this is where we can finally start using our index.js. And one of the things that we want to do is on, if we press the N button on the keyboard. So we, of course, need to go to Google and grab the keyboard code for the letter N. So keyboard codes, I don't know if that's exactly what I want. I think it's key codes. Let's see what this is. This. Aha! This will work for us. So a lowercase n is going to be key number 78. So we're just going to do a really simple document, a really simple jQuery listener. And I like to use the on syntax. There's a little bit of a difference versus just key down. Little bit of a difference, but the key down or the key up or the click function or any of those functions are really just wrappers around this function. So this is really the main function that jQuery uses, and then the other ones are just shortcuts. But it does have one added feature that we're not going to use, but I do like having it so that I don't have to switch it to the other feature, to the other one if I need that feature. So we're going to do document.on key up. We will call a function, and the function will simply be if, let's see, I need to bring in the event object, and if e dot, what is it? I know you guys are like, it's this. jQuery key up. Why does it do that? Google jQuery key up. Let's see, key up handler, blah 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 blah. Looking for the magic word, which is which. There we go. So if e dot which equals 78, and really what I want to do, because we're going to have multiple keys in here, I'm going to use a switch statement. It's a little cleaner. You guys will see how it's a little different. So e dot which, bring that down. Alright, and then case 78. Then we are going to, what was that? Board dot blocks push new block, pass in the shape, which we will use. Let's use the first shape, and we'll put it at x can be 1, and then this is the one where it has to be 18, or this can be 0, sorry. Right. Okay, so we're going to add the block in. And let's see, another thing we need to do, right, is we need to do case, and we need to grab the right and left and down arrows, because we're not going to support up, because the game does not support up. So, left window key, right window key. Up arrow, so left arrow is 37, right arrow is 39, and down is 40. So left, right, down. So case 37, which is, it's always, when you're doing key codes, it's great to put what the key is, since they're, cryptic numbers. So this is the left. And then, one of the things I'm forgetting is break. Always make sure to break when you're using case. And case 39, which was right, I believe. Right. Yep. So case 39, wrong. Sorry, this is right. And break, and then case 40. And this will be down. And break on that as well. Okay, so so for now we're just gonna make this really simple. This is not how we're gonna end up with this. We're not just gonna do blocks 0 dot what was it? Move left, and then board blocks 0 move right, and board blocks 0 move down. Okay. So that should be simple enough. So pushing N should place a new block on the screen, and then we can control it using the arrow keys. Simple enough. Let's give it a shot. So we're going to run and refresh our page, pull up the inspector just because we're debugging all the time, always debugging. Press the letter N. As you can see, it works. I'm pressing the right key, now I'm pressing left, and now I'm pressing down. Small side effect, the down key scrolls as well. So that's a little annoying, but we now have basically, and you can see, like, that is like as fast. Okay, so that's working pretty fast. And now that it's gone off the bottom of the screen, we're getting all sorts of errors, and well, I've lost it now. Okay, so, but we will handle that. We're not going to handle that right at the moment because we're just doing basic functionality. Sometimes it is not efficient to get everything working all at the beginning. Sometimes it's good to do things incrementally, do it slowly, piece by piece, putting things together, piece by piece, make small progress, worry about your edge cases. In a little bit. Don't try to program for every single possibility in every way. Just start making progress, start moving in, think about what is important right now and what is not important. It's also good to, and before every video I sit down and I think, okay, what am I going to target for this episode? And it's not just, oh, well, what do I want to show you guys? It's, again, I'm not doing this for you so much as I'm well, I am doing this for you, but I'm doing this with the mentality that I have a client that is going to want this delivered. And so I'm taking this from a perspective of a professional developer who's trying to complete the task at hand. So I'm not just coming up with things that I can show you guys. I'm doing this in the way that I would develop this if I wasn't recording it. So it's good to take small incremental steps, start working things together, and stuff like that. So, what was the other goal that I said that I wanted to do? You guys aren't telling me. Okay, fine. Be quiet. I will... Oh, what's the next thing I can do, or should do, or said that I was going to do? I said I was going to do something, and I haven't done it yet. And I can't remember what it was. So I was going to give them the ability to move using the keyboard, and then... I can't remember. Oops. Okay. Well, I know that I wanted to do unit testing, but I thought I had a third thing that I was planning on doing. I can move the blocks around. Put a new block on the screen. Oh, if I press N, hey, I can play with this for a little bit. You guys know. Okay, I'm sorry. Getting back to this. Well, let's just start the unit test process, right? Okay. So I like to use Jasmine and Karma. So I'm going to Bower install Jasmine, which is going to pull in the Jasmine libraries, and I forgot to run that with the save, so I'm going to run that again with the save, and it won't duplicate the download or anything. Obviously it'll see, hey, that's there, it's cached, I don't need to do anything else. And then I will do, can I Bower install Karma? Not sure if Karma is available. Karma is missing main. Karma is missing ignore. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's see what that gave us, right? So we come over here, Bower components. We do have Karma, and we do have jQuery, and we do have Jasmine. Okay. So just to test this out, if I run Karma, git command not found. So we will npm install. I'm going to install it globally. Karma, and I'm going to need to run sudo for that. Because I'm on a Mac, and Mac has this extra protection that you can't run that command or any npm install command without doing that first. Okay. Karma. Command not found. Well, let's npm and let's install it locally. Npm install Karma. And if this doesn't work, then we will need to go and look at... okay, let's close the terminal, right? And we will open a new terminal session. Still not found. Okay, time to go to the documentation. Karma. Karma spectacular test runner in JavaScript. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, npm install Karma. Great, I did that, but it's not working. Test on real devices, remote control, testing framework, easy debugging, continuous integration. Cool. Intro config. Nope. Intro installation. Here we go. Okay. Karma runs on Node.js and is available as an npm package. There are installers for both Mac and Windows. npm installed Karma, save dev. Yeah, forgot to do that. And then Karma Jasmine, Karma Chrome Launcher. Okay, so I need to run some of these commands. npm install. What was it? Yeah, Karma. And I'm going to do the save dev. And actually, one thing I didn't do was npm init, just so that we get a Sure. Okay. So now npm install karma save dev. If we didn't run the npm init before, that's before we run this command, it's not going to add it to the file because the file doesn't exist yet. So unless it creates it automatically, I don't think it does. So it's good to run it with the command. So it installs it in our package.json, and you can see here dependencies karma and puts that there. So that's cool. All right. So now we need to npm install karma, all this stuff, right? So I'll type sudo and then paste in that, and now it'll start. It brings in that. Okay, this will install karma. Okay, so now we can run karma start. And do I need this? Sucks. So you might want to install the useful karma CLI. This is what I was looking for. Okay, so if we run this, of course I need sudo. All right, karma. Yay. Okay, awesome. So now we've got. Now you can simply run karma from anywhere, and you'll always run the local version. Awesome, that's great. Okay, configuration. Okay, configuration file can be generated using karma init. Simple enough. Karma init. All right, what testing framework? We are using Jasmine. This will add the require. No, I'm not using require.js. Capture any browsers automatically. Chrome, and I could run it in Phantom. You know, I think just Chrome is good enough for now. Okay. Which is the location of your source and test files? So I'm going to place them in a folder called spec. So spec /star/star.js. So the ** means any number of directories below, so it could be at the root or it could be below directories. And as we build this out, we'll probably start to have multiple files, and we might even move them into multiple folders. So that's the reason for that. Okay, so there's no file matching this pattern. Yes, I'm aware. Okay, so what is the location of your source and test files? So that's the test files, but now we need to also point at the source files, which are inside our JS, and they're also at the root. Maybe we should move the index.js into the JS folder, and that's what we will do. We're going to follow the same convention, js /star/star.js. Awesome. Now we enter an empty string. Should any of the files included by the previous patterns be excluded? No. Everything is pretty much what we want it to be. Do you want karma to watch all the files and run the tests on change? Yes. Sounds great. Okay, configuration file has been generated. All right. So we need to move our index.js in here. Click OK. WebStorm is really nice and will fix all of my references for me, including this one. So I didn't actually have to come in here and put the folder on here. So that's a nice little thing the IDE does to help me out. Cool, starting karma. So then you just run karma start and your configuration file. By default, it will look for karma.conf.js or karma.conf.coffee. So I can really just run karma start. Karma start, and it should automatically starting up browser Chrome, uncaught reference, error board is not defined at engine JS1. Okay, why? Oh, because I loaded these dependencies in the wrong way. So we're going to go into our config file, and we need to move this around. So really I'm just going to change this to JS, and I'll change this to spec. Order matters. So it's going to load these ones in, and then it's going to load these ones in. And And, also, that being said, it's going to load them in potentially the wrong order, right? That's not good. That's one of the things that Require.js is really good at, is kind of managing all that. So I may even need to go in here and add the files manually. We will stop that. We'll start it again, see what happens, and we get the same error. Okay, so I do need to do this manually. That kind of sucks a little bit, but we will get through it. So JS, and what was it? Model.js. And then we'll do JS engine.js and JS index.js. Of course, put quotes around that. And now we can remove this line, since that'll be extra. Yeah, cannot resolve directory specs, because I haven't created it yet. Spec. Okay. So now when we run start, we should get $sign is not defined. That's right. Because that's in jQuery. So we want to load in as well Bower WER components slash jQuery slash what was it, dist, right? Yep, slash jQuery.min.js. jQuery min.js, comma. Alright, so now we run it again. 0 of 0 error. Okay, and as you can see, it actually did open up a whole new Chrome tab. It has all these nice little features in here, and this thing will kind of fire off as tests need to be run, and this will kind of warn us about things that are happening. Okay, so that's that at the moment. So now we need to run, or we need to start creating our first spec, or test, as some will call it, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so cool. You can also use this with Grunt or Gulp. I might move to Gulp, but I'm pretty happy with this setup at the moment. I don't mind running that command, but again, I may move to that. Okay, awesome. So Jasmine, and we're going to be using what version do we have? Versions can matter sometimes. So it's good to make sure. I have some duplicate, probably have some duplicate stuff here. Well, Node has brought in Jasmine for me, so I think I'm going to remove it from the Bower components, and I'm going to remove the Karma because those are not really being used since it was all done through NPM. So we'll delete those two files. And just for proper cleanup, we will go in here and delete these two, remove the comma, and save the file. Okay. So now we are, where are we? We were bringing in Jasmine and checking lib wait, what was this? Jasmine core.js. And we're just going to open it up, and I was going to say, usually right at the top there's, oh, they're using require. I can't tell what version it is, but it's probably the 2.2. Most likely. It's usually the latest fully released version is what these use, or NPM will give you. I can also check in the npm package.json file. And Jasmine 0.35, but that's Karma Jasmine. Nope, that's Karma Jasmine. Jasmine Core 2.2. Okay, so yeah, 2.2. Awesome. So now we know our version. We can look up the correct documentation. And 2.2. Awesome. Okay. So now we are going to make tests that basically look like this. Describe something, it, blah, and then we put in what we expect. So, oops, well, yeah, I'm just clicking everything wrong today. Chrome disconnected. Yeah, okay, so we'll stop that. Okay, so we need to create our first test, right? So we're going to create, we're just going to create a, again, taking the approach of start small, grow big. We will just do, we'll call this core.js for the moment, because, well, we should call it models.js, because that's really, I guess, that's a good way to do it, is, you know, one for each file kind of thing. So we'll refactor that, and we'll remove the comment, and now we need to start testing our models. So really the model I'm looking at targeting at the moment is this block. What we're going to do is we need to write our test. So we will say describe and so I'm going to use the form of describe a describe board, and then we'll do function. Why is that not working? Okay. Oh, Chrome. Okay, describe blah function, no arguments, and then do it. So we're going to do var board equals a new board. We'll take, no, I didn't want board, I wanted block. Sorry. Block. And we'll give it the shape of 0. We'll give it the position of 0 and the y of 19. Okay, so now we can say it. Now we look at our model and see what can we figure out about this. So it has a shape. Yeah, so it, let's see, has a shape. And then that takes a function. Flip back over here, and then we just do block dot shape expect block dot shape, and then there should be not to be null. Okay, so we want the shape dot not dot to be null. Okay, And then we want, let's see, expect block dot shape. To match, to be defined, to be undefined, to be null, to be truthy. Oh, well, we can use this one, not to be null. That is a little more descriptive. Not to be null. And to be falsy, to contain, to be less than, to be greater than, to be close to. That's interesting. To not throw, to throw, to equal, to equal. Oh, yeah, this is what we want. We want to equal, and we're going to do expect type of shape dot to equal the shape, right? Or do we want type of shape? Let's try that. Okay, so now that we've got two things in here, we're going to give this a shot. So we run karma start. All right, expected object to equal function. That's, oh, I see, because type of. So object to equal function. Expect type of block dot shape to equal there's a way, because it should have a type of shape. Okay, well, we will come back to that test later on. Save this, and we get success. Good. So, you'll notice these are running as soon as I save the file. So as I'm typing stuff in here and hitting save, these start running. Okay, after each, before each, all cool stuff. So there's a lot of stuff in here, but we need to go back to our models and to have a position, right? So, and then, well, shape, we'll say shape to equal new shape 0, right? That that should be true. So expect block dot shape dot to equal new shape 0. And success. And executed 1 of 1. Well, 1, it has a shape, right? Okay, so block has a shape, and now we can say it, what else does the block have? It has a position, right? It has a position function, and expect block dot position not to be null, and expect block dot position. Well, we can do the type of here. Type of block dot position to equal an object And let's see if this runs. Nope, failed object to equal function. There we go. So that one successfully, so this is at least an object. And then expect, so now we can start diving into our position a little bit. So block.position, SITION, dot X, not to be null. Expect block position X to equal, what should it be? It should be 0. Expect block position Y not to be null, and expect block position Y to equal 19. And we run our test, and it's success. Okay, so we're getting a little further. This is good. We're getting some stuff tested. Let's keep going. We also want it to have a move down function, so we will say it can move down. And first for check for existence of the function. So block dot move down dot not to be null, and then we'll expect block dot move down. So we want the type of, and this should be a function, to equal function, and check that. Yep, that's correct. And expect, now we actually check the move down behavior. So if we say block.move down, and then what is our expected, let's see, block.position.x to be, and it should, I guess I could just replace these with 2b as well, right? Oh well. 2b, let's see, if we're doing x, it should stay the same, right? And then our y to be 18. Alright, we save that, and we get expected 0 to be 18. Oh, that's because I did x, and we do y, and now we have passing test again. Great. So what we can do is the other ones follow the same format, so we can really quickly stub those out. And so we should be able to move right and move right, and that should be what, 1, and then left, and I believe all of these are asynchronous, so there is a little bit more that we're going to have to do. Move left and move left, and move left. Oh, actually, looks like we are, looks like that's working out for us. So we went from 0.19 to 0.18 to 1.18 back to 0.18. So now we've tested that all this stuff works in there. Great. So now we need to test, what else can we test on our model? To it can draw itself. It can draw itself. Function. Then expect kind of the same thing, right? So we're going to expect both of these, except block.draw not to be null, and block.draw to be a function. And it's going to be kind of hard to actually test this because we don't have a DOM with Jasmine. So that's going to be a different type of test that we'll have to do. We'll have to do a little later on. Okay, so let's test one more thing, right? So we've got our shape object, and we'll throw some tests up for the shape. Oh, the one thing that we spent that time on that we forgot to cover. The block should have a color. That's right. So it has a color, and function, and expect block.color not to be null. Expect block.color, or the type of block.color to be a what string? No, yeah, it's a string. And then expect block.color to be red at the moment. So you can quickly see how some of this stuff is going to change pretty quickly, and we'll have to refactor some of our tests, but that's, the tests kind of keep us in check and make sure that as I'm going through and I'm messing with things, that I'm not breaking things, because once we get up to like 10, 15, 20 JavaScript files, then it starts getting, it's really hard to test everything. And so we definitely want to have more than a bunch of tests, so that we're not just hoping that things are going to work. So we're going to describe our shape and pass in a function, and we will I keep flipping to that, hoping that I'll flip to this. It has coordinates and has a color. So really, for right now, I'm just going to check and make sure that it has a coordinate and it's not null, and then I'll check that it has a color of type string. So it has coordinates. Which is also, well, it's the name of the thing at the moment, so we'll leave it that. It's not really a good descriptor of that. Expect, let's see, well, we needed to, well, we can do var shape equals a new shape 0, and then expect shape dot coordinates dot not to be null, and expect shape color. Oh, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Coordinates type of. Well, we don't need type of. Yeah, technically it should be type of array, but that's okay. So then it has a color function and expect shape color not to be null, expect shape color to well, the type, right, should be type of shape.color to equal a string, and expect shape.color to be red at the moment. Okay, so we now have 9 full tests, which are covering both our shape and our block models. There's all sorts of fancy tricks that we can do. We could even in here define, could even make a test that makes sure that we haven't added something to the model that we haven't tested yet. All sorts of things you can do. You could go on for days trying to get tests set up to cover every possible scenario. But really what you just want is give yourself a good chunk of tests that will prevent really any problems from happening, or making sure you don't forget, or that your objects are still being used correctly. You just want it so that when you make a change to your application and you run your tests and they pass, then more likely, basically, you want to be able to detect a break anywhere in your code, other than what you're working on at the moment. So, yeah, we're definitely going to do more of these tests in the future. I'm going to try to bring the tests in as we build the objects. And I might even kind of flip into more of a TDD or a BDD mode, and we'll start writing the tests before we write the actual game objects and stuff like that. So, yeah, this is a good overview of unit testing with Karma and Jasmine, and kind of how to set all this stuff up and start running some tests that make sense. And again, in the future, we'll start testing other things, like making sure that this actually spits out a full grid and stuff like that. So lots of good stuff. We will pick this up next time.